475 people were detained at a battery factory owned by Hyundai and LG in Savannah, Georgia. Now, there was a warrant for this raid, but there was only a warrant for 4 people. And this is common with the DHS and ICE. They might enter a space with one warrant and they end up just sweeping up everybody that they can. And in this case, 175 of those people were American citizens. Majority of them also did have some form of documentation. Maybe it's an overstayed visa or process of going through immigration or through the process of obtaining citizenship. Now, the 300 people that were illegal, South Korea has said that they're going to send a plane back to get them ASAP. But this wasn't a given. They had to negotiate with the United States to get these people back. Now, the White House says that this was just business as usual, right? They have to enforce immigration laws. But what this really is an example of just how stupid this administration is. It's another notch in the belt of evidence that these people are forcefully sabotaging the United States. So why would you do this to your friend? Why would you forcefully take their people, detain them, put them in horrible conditions when you essentially begged for them to come here in the first place? Not only is South Korea one of our most trusted allies, they're also a big trade partner, the 7th largest, and he slaps a 25% tariff on them, forcing them to negotiate down to a 15% tariff. And the negotiations haven't even ended there. A deal is still not done. On top of this, and a part of that, a separate $100 billion investment and a $350 billion investment for a total of $450 billion invested in American manufacturing. And he pulls this. They shouldn't have even come to the negotiating table with us in the first place. Not only that, the new president comes to America, shakes hands with you, sits for the press conference, and we treat them like this. It's extortion, it's intimidation, it's bullying, it's nonsensical because they are an important geopolitical ally as well. Now, nobody in South Korea appreciates this. You see cartoons mocking Americans. You see media headlines talking bad about the situation. And you have every member of the South Korean government ready to step in, fly to America, and talk some sense into this administration. At this point, the patterns are too clear to be seen. There is something seriously wrong in America's foreign policy. And it's so blatant, it must be self-sabotage for a reason. But another thing that this could be, and I'm just going to use Occam's razor here, is that this is an example of just how chaotic things are running in that place, how much this administration cannot govern and how disjointed different departments are from one another, how conflicting their own self-interest can be sometimes. I mean, I say it all the time. He treats this administration, each cabinet position, like he's selling it off to a personality, to a different company, to Howard Lutnick, to Peter Navarro, to Stephen Miller, to RFK Jr. And I think what we're seeing here is conflicting interests. One group is not talking to another group. The group lobbying for investments are not talking to the immigration policy. Because as Hyundai representatives have pointed out, they sort of saw this coming. Not enough work visas were given out to the people that they needed to come in from South Korea. And yes, they did need these people to come from South Korea. Building a battery factory is a pretty meticulous technical job. And so they needed to bring people in to train Georgians who will work there the right way. So it's very realistic that this is an example of how deeply uncoordinated this administration is and how in over their head they are with some of these promises they make and some of these results and outcomes they attempt to have. They are moonsaulting off the Empire State Building and telling all of us that they're going to land on their feet with this supposed try and change in global international trade and world order. So far, 9 months in, this America First policy seems to be putting Americans last.